Hello. I muted myself. Try and turn off my music. I always listen. Hello, everyone. I always listen to music before I come into this empowerment group. Music gets the vibe going. So welcome, everyone, to group this evening. And it's going to be about boosting your self-esteem and putting an anchor in place. So we're going to talk about what that is. Our very own Samson is going to lead that. Also, next week, we already have the next 2 weeks confirmed. This is becoming very professional over here. We have Rosie, who wrote Girl with Low Self-Esteem Issues. And then we have Dr. Ian from the show The Doctors, who's the host on the show. He'll be the following week, which is pretty cool. We also have a chat box here. And so feel free to say hello. And also thank you to everyone who shares this when we post about on Facebook or post for who the speaker is for the week or the exercises. The more you spread the word, the more we have our outreach to different people. So, you know, keep it going. I have asked John to read the rules. Let's see. Okay. Let me see. John Norris. Okay. Let's see. Okay, John, I'm asking you to, well, are you there, John? Let's see. Well, hopefully I can get John plugged into this thing. If someone wants to read the beginning of chapter 1 of Best Self, we can start there. Just hold up the book if you have it, and I will call on you if I see you on the screen, or if no one has it, you know, maybe there's a coffee cup sitting on it. So, all right, we have Kim. Okay.
Are you ready?
We're ready. Kim, where are you?
I'm in North San Diego County, California.
Are you ready to boost your self-esteem?
Absolutely.
All right.
You are unique. Maybe you've heard that before, but this time I want you to let the idea wash over you in a new way. No one could truly know what it has meant to walk in your shoes because only you have walked in them. Your some experiences, thoughts, feelings, genetics, and spirit are yours alone. There has never been another you, nor will there ever be. You are no better or worse than anyone else, and even when you don't feel like you are anywhere near good enough, you are enough because of one simple truth. You are you, the only one.
Preach! Preach! All right, thank you, Kim. All right, we are unique. And John, let's see if I can get to work this time. John Norris. Let's see. Asking you to unmute. There you go. That work, John? Oh. John does not seem to have a working rule book yet. I will try one more check-in with Tina about the food and wellness group, and then we'll go back to John and see if he can get his system working. Okay, so there's Tina, and Tina Steer. Which Tina is, so it's Tina. Hey, Tina.
Hello, welcome. It's good to see you again.
You too.
I enjoyed your morning ritual with Enya. It's very good music. That's very soothing.
Let me tell you, Enya's a mood changer. Enya never gets old. I used to have this fantasy of listening to Enya on a giant green field and just like chilling out, but you can just listen to it in your house too. But I love Enya. Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
So talk to us. Where are we at with this food and wellness group?
Last week we had a dietary specialist help us out, Libby. She did wonderful. This week we're going to be talking about eating well for mental health, because I know it was Mental Health Day or something this last couple days ago. So we're going to be combining those two together and talk about it.
Cool. And how's this been for you? I know this whole group started when you shared, I don't know, maybe 5 weeks ago that you were wanting to work on your food and wellness. How's this been for you?
It's been wonderful. Everybody is reaching out, giving me things for topics to talk about, and everybody shows up. The regulars are show up. They're diehard fans. We just want to get together and learn and help each other and support each other.
So guys, this is free. Tina will put in the chat, the Facebook group, just request to be a member. Be solution oriented, and that's going to be tomorrow at what, 4 p.m. Pacific time?
Yes.
Yep, and you and Kenny are kind of spearheading that, right?
Yes, we are.
Awesome. Well, good work, both of you. Thank you, guys. All right. So it works if you work it. So work it, you're worth it. All right, let's see if John figured out, okay, John. Gosh. Oh, John?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hey, John.
Yeah. All right, I will read the rules.
And you're in Houston, right?
I'm in Chicago right now, or
Oh, he's
Michigan.
in Chicago. All right.
Yeah. So I will read the rules of the group.
Your camera just went off.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
Oh, it's because you're reading the rules.
Yeah, rules. We will try to choose people in different parts of the world to share the stories so we can embrace diversity. This is a solution-based group. We accept people of all ages, races, religions, identities. That being said, this is not a space to discuss politics. Bullying is not allowed. Degrading comments of any kind will not be tolerated. This will be a safe space and welcoming space. There is a chat screen at the bottom of the screen. Feel free to engage in a friendly dialogue. Again, this is an opportunity for us to be connected. If you misuse the chat screen and are rude or disrespectful, you will be immediately removed from the group. If you're someone who's willing to speak during this meeting, please be sure that you have your video on and a stable internet connection. By speaking, understand that your audio may be used for future mic projects.
All right. Well, thank you, John, for reading the rules.
Thank you, sir.
All right. And also, I have some different projects going on that are about making a decision in your own life. We send out an email, and part of what I'm doing is taking some of your stories, people that maybe in the last 6 months have joined the empowerment group, made some decisions and changes around that, that have, kind of pivoted you or taken you in a certain direction that's better in your own life. If you want to share that story and potentially be on television with me, send us a message on Facebook. But for it to be authentic too, the reality is if it hasn't done something for you, you also don't need to, you know what I mean? So it's whatever is actually authentic and, works out. I'll be down on Dr. Phil tomorrow and next week. And so there's some fun. I know a lot of you have heard about me from being on Dr. Phil. So we got some really good people that we've been able to help coming up. And also, the chat screen. I know last week on the chat, I was like, at some point, I was like, what is going on? I was like trying to talk. There was all this drama on the chat box. And I got to say, like, if something's urgent or you're in crisis, first of all, it's very hard to help someone over text in general. Like, that's just a hard thing to do. Like, sometimes people will send me messages like, I'm really struggling and I hate my life, help me. And I'm like, what the heck am I supposed to do over writing? And then you're worried about what you put in writing. So if you're in crises, definitely I don't think the chat box is the best for you to put your crises in there because it's not actually the support you need. And so, you know, pick up the phone and call someone who's in your circle. Also, there's, I think, how many people do we have here tonight? We have 323 people. So we can't call on everyone. There's nothing personal. The universe really decides. There's all these screens and I try to run it. But if you're in crises, you know, but try to be in the solution, be encouraging. So just putting that out there in case anyone needed me to, or maybe you guys are like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So Samson is going to lead us this evening. Samson's a therapist over at Cass Centers. This is a really great exercise too. He took myself and Tony, who works with me, through the exercise yesterday. I posted actually on my social media. Samson jokingly said it's some people have irrevocable self-esteem issues and Tony may be one of those. We were totally joking, but this is a very good exercise. I found it already to be really helpful. There we go. And so we're going to start off with a meditation to kick things off. And let's see, Samson.
Hey,
Hey, man.
how's it going?
Good.
Good. Yeah, let's start with the meditation before we get into this. Okay. So everyone, just get comfortable. This is going to be a quick meditation for those of you who might have trouble doing meditating. Believe me, I've been one of those people. It's a quick meditation. So just get comfortable, close your eyes, and breathe normally. Bring your attention to the way you're breathing, just your natural breathing pattern. Let's take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. Then return your breathing to normal. As you're breathing normally, just bring your attention to the way you're sitting, how you're positioned. How are your feet placed? Where are your hands? Bring your attention to your body. We're going to take a deep breath through our nose. Hold it for a second. And exhale. Now in a second, I'm going to ask you to do that again. But this time when you exhale, I want you to let go of your jaw, your shoulders, and then your neck. So let's take a deep breath through our nose. Exhale. Just let your neck go, your shoulders go, your jaw. Almost like you're curling up a little. One more deep breath. Exhale and just let everything go. Return your breathing to normal, keeping your attention on your breath. Take a moment to just think about your intention in this group today. What do you want to get out of this group today? When you're ready, open your eyes. And I will turn it back to Mike.
Thanks, Samson.
Yeah.
So, you know, can you tell everyone a little about you? Because some people are just joining and.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. My name's Samson. I've worked in mental health in a number of ways for about 9 or 10 years now, actually. I've worked with Mike for 2 years, and I'm a therapist at Cass, I'm a coach at Cass, and I work very closely with Mike, so I've really had the pleasure and the opportunity to like learn a lot. Just being, I interact with Mike more than I interact with anyone in my life. And so I've really grown a lot. And, you know, when Mike asked me to come on, I was really excited. And, you know, he mentioned, he said, you know, what topic do you want to focus on? And I right off the bat, I'm like, I want to focus on self-esteem because it's such a interesting thing to me, self-esteem. It's something that's actually in our control. You know what I mean? Like oftentimes I think we put our self-esteem in the hands of like how other people are acting or inconveniences or what other people say. And it really just kind of chips away at it. At the end of the day, we're really in control of our self-esteem. Our self-esteem is nothing more than our relationship with ourselves, right? Nothing more than just how we value ourselves. And that's something we decide. It's something we actually are the narrator of. So I really wanted to focus on this because this is an empowerment group, and what a better way to empower people than to give them the control of their own self-esteem. So Mike, should I just kick things off?
Yeah, so let's kick things off. So we're kicking it off with some doubt, right?
Yeah, so, and the thing is, right, so, and I'm curious of if you guys identify with this, you know, by a show of hands, but from my experience, I've seen that, you know, we often lie to ourselves. We tell ourselves we're not good enough, we can't do something, we're not worthy of something, right? And then this self-doubt then affects our mood, our self-esteem, and then ultimately our actions. And usually we're right because we're telling ourselves, oh, I can't do something. That'll affect your mood, that'll affect your actions, and then you won't do the thing, right? So by show of hands, who identifies at some moments in your life, right? This isn't like 24/7, but at some moments in your life, having self-doubt, doubting yourself. By show of hands. Okay, see a bunch of hands? Great. Great, so I thought the best place to start with this, before we get into boosting self-esteem, is starting with self-doubt. So think about when you're really hard on yourself, right? First thing I want you to do, and if you have a pen and piece of paper handy, I want you to write down, what is one thing you're doubting about yourself right now? What is one self-doubt? For example, are you doubting that you'll find love, a romantic relationship? Are you doubting that you're going to lose the 10 pounds you've been wanting to lose? Are you doubting you can have a relationship with one of your siblings, or that you're going to be able to get the job that you want? Everyone take a moment and write down one of your doubts.
And to this point too, let's also be realistic, right? Like, you know, I doubt that I'm going to be an astronaut, because that's not the career path I've chosen. But that's not the type of doubt we're talking about. We're talking about something that is more what you're telling yourself that actually is possible, but you just have doubt.
Absolutely. Great point, Mike. Yeah. Realistic is very important. And then Mike, if you could just call on someone to share their doubt, I think that'd be a great place.
Listen, let's have a doubt party right now. Let's be what they say, Debbie Downers. We're gonna have a Doogie Doubters.
Yeah,
okay?
I have my doubt shirt on. Let's do it.
All right. So who wants to share what they're doubting in your? Okay, Anthony Jerkovich. All right, Anthony, where are you, Anthony?
Well, there, New York.
All right, New Yorker.
Hey, Anthony.
Hi.
Yeah. What was the doubt you put down?
I just doubt that I can sleep regularly. Like I have really struggled with it, like with my anxiety. Like I have a CPAP mask and everything, but the problem is I just cannot. I really have anxiety with sleeping through the night, and with my actually having anxiety issues. And then while I'm trying to sleep, like my body starts like moving a little bit, and I start having all these things happening because of all the anxiety I have.
And do you have the doubt at night when you're trying to sleep?
Yeah, like I really do. Like just getting a good night's sleep. It's like really like hard.
Okay, perfect. Perfect example. Thank you, Anthony. Great start. Mike, do you want to call on one more person to do their doubt?
Yes, let's do it.
Great.
Nicole Clifford, you want to share your doubt? Oh, she just sprung up from her chair. All right, Nicole Clifford, where are you?
I'm from Ireland. Can you hear me?
Where are you from? Ireland.
Ireland, Dublin.
Oh, you're in Dublin right now.
Yeah. I'm trying to sell my mother's house, so I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do that or not. So hopefully
Got it.
we'll get
John,
that done.
and do you find this doubt is affecting your actions in any way? And your mood?
Well, I'm trying to get the place looking well, and I don't seem to be getting help from anybody else, so I'm hoping I can do it myself, you know.
Perfect. This is perfect. Great job. Great start with what we're going to do today. I both of these examples, I think you guys will both do really well with this exercise.
Listen, it's good we have some doubting going on in Dublin.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. So, okay, now that we all kind of have our doubts and hopefully you guys identified in your own way with some of the people who shared so far, we're going to start doing this anchoring exercise. So the first step to this is I want you to write down 3 of your achievements, accomplishments, right? So 3 of your proudest achievements. This could be anything, right? This could be whatever you find to be an achievement for you, an accomplishment for you. It could be anything from having a child, getting married, graduating school, whatever it is that you find when you look back, you're like, oh, I'm proud of myself for that thing. I did that thing, right? 3 of them. Take a moment and write down those 3.
3 things you're proud of.
Achievements, accomplishments.
And when you say it's things you're proud of, not that other people are proud of for you, that you're actually proud of.
Exactly, right? Like for some people, they may have finished college, right? But that was more of a value that maybe their family had for them. And they're not necessarily proud of it. It's really about, this is about you. Again, we're putting the ball back in your court. This is your self-esteem, your relationship with yourself. So it's really important that this means something to you, this achievement, no matter what it is. And I want you to be specific when you write it down. Very good. Looking through, I'm seeing a lot of people writing, some people thinking. Is anyone having a hard time with this part?
You know what's interesting, and it reminds me of the people who have a tough time. So in best self, we create kind of your best self and your anti-self, where you kind of describe all the things that make you really at your best, and then the anti-self's the part of you that gets in the way. And almost always people had an easier time creating their anti-self than their best self. It was a voice they were more familiar with. When they really took a step back, they were kind of taught not to be proud of themselves. And so it's pretty default for a lot of people to go to a negative instead of a positive.
Absolutely, 100%. I definitely agree. If we made this a list 3 things you don't like about yourself, right, it would probably be easier, of course, because those voices sometimes are louder, especially if we're struggling in some way. So if someone's open to sharing their 3, I think that'd be a nice way to start. Mike, do you want to call on someone?
Yeah, if you want to just raise your hand, I'm combing through. Okay, we have Vanessa. Where are you, Vanessa? Oh no, I know. Well, yeah, I'm clicking. You gotta click on mute when I click it. See? Let's see. I'm sure we can figure it out, Vanessa. I don't have any doubt that we can figure this out together. There you go.
There. I've got to read it.
And where are you, Vanessa?
I'm in Arkansas.
All right.
One of the things that I'm proud of is that I graduated from physical therapist assistant school. And I have been a good mom. And that I've had a good career helping people.
This is perfect. And what great things. I want to encourage you, the second one, when you say being a good mom, can you think of a specific event or time when you felt like, wow, I'm being a really good mom?
I really notice that now that my children are grown, that they want to spend time with me
Right.
and that they are very responsible adults. So that's whenever I've noticed that I've been a good mom.
Excellent. Great job with this part of the exercise. And great achievement.
Another person want to share what they're proud of? Let me see. Julie Schultz. Okay. We're calling on a lot of people today. Julie.
Oh, yeah.
Hi,
are you?
everybody.
Where are you, Julie?
I'm good. I'm from St. Petersburg, Florida.
All right.
For my three, first of all, is my daughter. I only have one child, but she's amazing. She's in college right now. Second would be my nursing career. I'm pretty proud of that, what I've accomplished through my 20 years. And number three would be just finishing my BSN and starting on my master's degree.
Awesome. Awesome. How do you feel when you look at these three accomplishments, like right in front of you?
I feel real proud. I'm going through a rough time because I had my second surgery. I had ACL, had to have it replaced.
Oh, wow.
So I'm on the other side as being, I'm an orthopedic nurse. So I'm on the other side. So it's hard being on the other side, sitting back and being the patient now instead of the nurse. So,
Right.
but yeah.
So it actually just sounds like a great opportunity for this to boost the self-esteem, right?
It's a good lesson because I teach a orthopedic pre-op class for all my joint patients. So now being on the patient side, I've learned what they're going through. So it's been a great experience in that way for me. So
It makes you better at your job, right? The empathy is such a big part of your job.
yes, exactly.
That's a great way to look at it.
And anyone who's kind of checking out emotion, like as we're doing this process and goes and starts to feel numb or bored as we're looking at your proud moments, which really is about your esteemable or things that you really love about yourself, I'd highly suggest you to check back in and go, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be loving to myself. I'm going to be kind to myself. I'm not going to let my brain take me out of here because I'm showing up on this Tuesday and I'm not going to make excuses. I'm going to put down 3 things that I'm proud of. All right.
Yes.
So the pen isn't that heavy. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. There might be a little bit of discomfort in doing this, and that's a good sign, right? It's a good sign because we're writing 3 things that we accomplished that we're proud of. This is a very positive thing. Great. So what I want you guys to do next, you have your 3 accomplishments, your 3 achievements. I want you to order them based on which mean the most to you. So you have the 3 accomplishments right there. I want you to put them in order. And really, it might take you a second. You have to think about them and get very specific, but think which one, when you look at all 3, means the most, and then order them kind of based on that feeling. What makes you feel the best? And if you have more than 3, I see some people said they put more than 3, go ahead and that's great. That's great. The point of this is for it to be simple, so I don't want to ask everyone to write 20 things,
So we're ordering them 1, 2, and 3. 1 is the one that we're like, I'm proud.
Yeah.
This is my proud stamp. I lived on this earth and I did this and I feel good about it.
Yep.
All right.
Right? Is anyone having a hard time with this? Or anyone have any questions so far? I think we should leave a little space for that if anyone feels like.
I mean, I feel like everyone's in the flow.
Good.
We're all in the flow. Everyone's up to speed.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Very good. Okay, so now we have our 3 accomplishments in order of which makes us feel the most proud, the most confident, the most self-assured, gives us the best feeling about ourselves. This is where we're going to create the anchor, okay? So the top accomplishment, right? The one on top is clearly the one that you feel the most proud about, makes you feel the best about yourself, gives you the most confidence, right? So we're going to look at that one. We can put the others to the side for now. We're just going to focus on the top accomplishment. Now, in order to create an anchor, what I want you to do is really, and you might want to close your eyes even, but I want you to think back to this moment, or what represents this moment, right? Really go back to it. How did it feel? What was going on? Who was there? Right? Go back to that moment and really just feel like you're there. Now I want you to get creative and think of a word that represents this memory. So this is unique to you. It could be whatever word, it's almost like having your own inside joke. Whatever word represents that memory. So for me, I'll give you an example. One of my proudest moments was when I graduated college. I never really loved college, and I felt like for me personally, a bit more of a challenge than some of the people in my school, to be honest. And so my accomplishment is graduating. The day I graduated UCLA, and my anchor for that memory is the word bear, because UCLA's mascot is like a brown bear, a grizzly bear. And the day of graduation, they had this huge statue of a grizzly bear outside. And so for me, anytime I think the word bear, I think about that moment. So that's just one example. Another example is when after school, when I became a therapist, my first day, my anchor for that is the word couch. I had a couch in my office, and it reminds me of the first time I got to practice therapy on my own. Does that make sense for everyone? I see a bunch of people throwing theirs in the chat.
Great. So, so the next part is everyone's kind of to come up with a word, a moment that kind of captures that thing. It doesn't need to be perfect, but your brain goes, oh yeah, that would remind me of that moment. Yeah?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Very good. Is everyone working on this? Okay. Now I want to hear a few of these.
Well, I'll call on Tony from yesterday because he didn't really
let's do
discuss.
it.
But I'm curious. You guys can meet Tony. Tony's part of our team, but he's the behind-the-scenes person on our team. But he gets sucked. He never had worked in the self-help world. He actually does video. He helps me with the content. And like everyone around me, they suddenly get pulled into self-help, personal development. So Tony, is this the right Tony? I'm calling on you. Tony?
Yes.
Okay, hey.
Thank you for the introduction, Mike. Thank you, Samson. So am I sharing the word, the keyword?
Why don't you share your accomplishments, the one you chose, and the anchor you came up with.
The accomplishment that I chose was coming out of the closet, and my anchor is the word free.
And can you tell us like how you came up with the word free? How does that remind you of that moment?
When I came out the closet, I feel like before coming out of the closet, I was like trapped. I felt like I was living another life. I felt like I wasn't free. Like I wasn't being myself. So like coming out was like my biggest accomplishment was when I began to like be myself, my true self.
That's great. That's beautiful, Tony. That's
Beautiful. But Tony, I don't know if you want to share it, even though the system around you.
Yeah. My biggest, my doubt was, I doubt I can have a relationship with my mom. I don't have the best relationship with my mom right now, simply because I did come out. Prior to coming out, I had a great relationship with her, but now it's not the best simply because I decided to want to come out and be my true self.
Wow. So when you think about, because, with the doubt being, I can never have a relationship with my mom. And then when you think about the accomplishment, the achievement of coming out of the closet, and the word free that you came up with. Can you tell us a little bit about how, that anchor might help you with managing that doubt?
It pretty much overall, I think it helps with that doubt simply because that doubt no longer is in my mind. I feel like I don't have to worry about that doubt anymore simply because I'm happier being free than I was before I came out of the closet. Unfortunately, I don't have the best relationship with my mom right now, but I have hope that, hopefully that will change. And with me being free, I hope one day that doubt can just go away and it'll become reality where her and I will have a relationship again.
Speaking of, and thank you, Tony, for sharing that and being vulnerable with that. And you made me realize, which I messaged her to see if she was in group this week, because last week we called on Christine, who hadn't spoken to her sister in 10 years and had doubt that she could ever have a relationship with her sister, who she wanted to have a relationship with. So I'm going to call on her, Tony, and thank you for sharing that.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Mr. Free. Let's call on Christine. Just speaking of relationships, just, as well. All righty. Christine?
Can you hear me?
Oof.
That
I feel like
microphone.
I'm getting burnt by your voice.
Okay.
It's very fun. It's almost like,
Fuzzy?
hold on, try again.
Fuzzy?
That's
That's
better.
better, for sure.
Oh. So
Okay, proceed.
pronounced. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. It was really weird.
It's a little buzzy, though. It's very buzzy. It's almost like the opposite of a chalkboard, but with a buzzing noise.
Let me see if I can take my headset out. Want me to try?
Yeah, try. I mean, sometimes these machines, they mess it up, I'll tell you.
Hear me?
That's better.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
look at my hair. It was really strange. My phone rang while I was talking to you.
And we tell everyone about, in case they weren't here last week, you were doubting to have a relationship with your sister after 10 years, right?
Yeah, and Coach Mike totally caught me off guard. That was my first time jumping on. I thought this was kind of like a fake group. I jumped on like in my pajamas, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, this is real. And you then picked me. I was not prepared to talk about my sister at all. I didn't think it was an issue I had. And it just turned out that I was like, maybe I do want to speak to her. So while I was on with you, my mother called, which was very rare. And so then on my cell phone, my niece, my sister's daughter, asked to talk to me. I got so scared. My heart started pounding, and I was like, what does she want to talk about? And my daughter, at that point, I hadn't even gotten invited to my niece's wedding because there was such a rift. So I talked to them openly. And what I really noticed was I read the chat room, and a lot of people talked about my laughter and my ego. And I'm going to say that kind of was like, oh, and I did some, thinking on it, and I spoke to them, and I realized that I was approaching the relationship, I think, wrong. I was approaching it from a defense mode, and that I was very defensive because I was so hurt. And it makes me emotional when I talk about it. So that's usually when I can gauge if I'm right or wrong. And so I've decided that I'm going to approach it more from a loving perspective, but not a pity perspective. From the perspective of that, I will accept you for who you are. And it was like the gentleman that was just speaking, being able to just accept people for who they are. And then I know that I did the best I could do. And that's one of my major things. Like, I want to make sure that I'm doing the best I can do. But
so you're now, so it sounds like the timing worked out. And so now you haven't spoken to your sister in 10 years.
Yeah.
But you're revisiting that because there could be a potential relationship that's there to be had. And
and I think that we need each other. Like, our parents are getting older, and we need each other. And we both lost a brother. And I think that pain of grieving has hit us both. And we both work in an industry of aiding and helping people. So we both have heavy, heavy careers. And I think that's interfering too. So it's one of those things that I think there's just a lot of pain.
So how are you going to get, how are you moving out of that doubt to now you're talking to her kids and you're going to try to?
I would love to have a Christmas. I would love to have Christmas in my parents' home once again. So I'm hoping if people are on board, I'm going to suggest we get together for Christmas. And I know her children, her daughter was okay with this. My mom, not so much. But I think she's fearful of the counteraction of a couple redheads in a room. So, you know, that was one of the things that, yeah. But you've made me look at it differently because, you know, you're talking about doubt. And one of the things that I have trouble with doubt is I have written 5 books on death and dying and releasing another one, but I'm dyslexic and I come from the special learning disability class. And when I was a kid, the kids coined it the stupid little dummies. And my doubt, I feel, is rooted in, like, it's real. I can't read like other people. My grammar is awful. My spelling is awful. So I doubt that I can present myself in a written way professionally. And after writing how many books and doing all that I do, I still think I'm stupid. And so I'm trying very, very hard to get rid of that doubt. But that was my number 2. So my number 1 was I spit out my kid at 40 in my living room with no medication. So my name is Warrior. And I don't suggest ever doing that because it hurts like hell. So, way more pain than I expected.
Well, Christine, I'm proud of you for now revisiting having a relationship with your sister. You seem to be talking about your sister in a much lighter way and a less closed off, you know, kind of like this could never happen. Yeah. So, you know.
It was the crazy chat room.
Huh?
It was the crazy chat room. Those people were honest, and I appreciate that because it was a side of me that I never saw. And so I realized that, yeah, I was just like, I'm good. But yeah.
Well, good job, you guys, for being in the chat. And look what you did with encouraging Christine to reconnect with her sister after 10 years, which was last week. And it's now it's 10 years and 1 week less, hopefully pretty soon. So thank you, Christine.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Sorry, Samson. I just had to jump on that because I was like, oh, that Tony story kind of reminded me a little of Christine's.
Yeah, no, that was great. And Christine really did a good job at demonstrating the difference between doubt and, because she, in like the same sentence said, I have this doubt that or belief that I'm stupid, right? But in the same sentence said she wrote 5 books. It's like such, you know what I mean? Such opposites. And this is kind of the conversation we have with ourselves.
Yeah, and that's where we get stuck in having this idea around where we should be or who we would be or how we should be, which ultimately affects our self-esteem because it's not even true. It's not true. What's not true is that just because somebody, like, by the way, like a lot of us on the screens have learning disabilities, or no, I doubt we have a lot of valedictorians on this, you know, Zoom call, not because we're not all smart people. It's just a lot of people who actually they don't want to spend the time to look at themselves either. I've worked with some people and it's not, you know, it's kind of, you pick your head up, keep going on to the next, not to say all, but I think, you know, just because you have a learning disability or struggle, in other ways you can express it creatively that other people can't. And so we're all gifted and we're all artists. So should I call on some more, Samson, or is...
Yeah, absolutely. I want to hear some people share their the achievement and then their anchor, and then we'll talk about their doubt and how this all kind of connects.
All right. So if anyone wants to raise their hand, or if I'm calling on someone. Okay. Nancy's iPad. Nancy's iPad?
I think I'm there. Do you hear me?
We hear you.
Ah. I have kind of a funny doubt for my achievement because they're like opposites of each other. I work in dog rescue, and so my most recent thing I'm doing, I found some homes for some dogs that have gone to really good homes and might have been really hard to place. And I've really, you know, walked into the right place and said the right things and done the right things. And that's probably my biggest accomplishment for me. I feel really good about it. And the anchor word I used is led, because every time I get one of these, it's not just in me. I really feel like the dog and the people are just given to me. I'm so lucky. It's just like it all comes, and I just have to wait for it to happen right. And yet, my doubt that I wrote, I doubt that I can say things well enough to have people like me. And it seems like it's such an opposite. Like, I can do this, and I will get off the phone of having done something successfully, and then I just fear, what if I can't complete it? And what if I can't, you know?
Wow, that's amazing. Thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And that's exactly it, you know, and that's the whole point of this anchor, right? It's to ground us when, you know, as we said, ground us back to who we really are, is really to be a more the achievement is reality. It's, you've shown yourself what you're capable of, what you've accomplished already, right? And when you compare that to the doubt that you have, that's when we're taking a flashlight to your doubt and we're like really looking at how false it is and how it doesn't serve you, right? All it does is, go ahead.
It's funny, when I do really good on an achievement, that's when the doubt just blasts in my face. You know, it's not like when I'm unsuccessful that the doubt haunts me. The doubt haunts me when I'm successful.
Do you know why?
No.
It's because it's, okay, maybe it's because it's validating. Because the doubt, if the doubt is a lie, you have to validate it, right? You don't have to confirm the truth. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
If you know
Yeah,
something's
I think
true,
I do. I think I do. I got to work it through in my head to really grasp it, but I think I know where you're going. Yes.
right. Well, if you believe that, you know, you can't do something and then you don't do the thing, then you're like, oh, see, I was right. But if you do the thing, that's going to be a little confusing if you doubt yourself. Especially
And what
if
I
you
got to
doubt.
realize is that it's not just me. I'm part of a universe that,
Exactly.
you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that example.
It seems like such a little thing when other people are saying about being a good mom or whatever, and mine is about dogs, but my world is that. It really is. I'm really into it, you know?
Awesome job.
Well, and by the way, there's no such, like, it's little, big, like, trust me, it's all relative to what's important to you.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of things look fantastic on paper that may mean nothing to a lot of people, and some things mean a lot. So, I mean, there's no such thing as it being too small, because this is where your heart is, your passion is, and what's important to you. And this isn't about comparison. Like, comparison's like the root of misery, right? Like, it's just, just makes us miserable. So this is your truth, and you get to own it, and you get to be led by it, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
You remind me of my mom, by the way.
That's
You know,
scary.
I can't seem to get my mom on these empowerment groups. And I mean that in a nice way, but my mom is absolutely in love with animals, and you actually have a similar look as my mom. It's interesting. So thank you, Nancy's iPad. Where are you again?
I'm about Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a little north of Milwaukee.
All right. Well, thank you, Nancy, for sharing that.
Thanks, Nancy.
All right. We have another person that today we're calling on a lot of people. So
we made it interactive today. Very interactive.
It's good. Well, I love it to be interactive because so people don't feel alone and they can relate, because I'm sure someone else is like Nancy is sitting there going, oh, well, mine's not that big of a deal. When the reality is, says who? Like, what is there awards on what's important in our lives by the time we die?
Right.
like as if, and by the way, like, don't get me started on my theory on legacies and people holding too much value in them, but because just be you. We're all equal. I don't know. All right. Anyways. All right. Does anyone else would like to share their doubt, their achievements, their anchor word? Right. Just going through. Okay. Pam Fitzgerald. She's got a big brick background. Pam, where are you?
I'm here.
Where are
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, Mike.
Hello, where are you, Pam?
I just want to let you know how much I'm getting out of these sessions. So thank you for doing this. And I'm having a very tough time right now. I have a estranged relationship with my daughter. And this whole COVID thing is made it that much harder. And so for me, one of the things that I wrote that I was proud of was that I was a great daughter to my mom, who was a single parent. And yet I feel like I was a terrible parent to my daughter. And I'm having it. I know that that's not the truth because my husband tells me all the time it's not. But I don't know how to forgive myself for some mistakes I made.
So, Pam, and I appreciate you sharing this. When you chose your biggest achievement as being a good daughter?
Daughter, yes.
What was the anchor word you pulled from that?
Kind.
Kind. Why'd you pull kind?
Because I remember how kind I was to my mom and respectful all the time, even though it was a very dysfunctional family. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to be there for her.
Right. Right. And do you feel like you're kind right now? You're being kind in your life currently?
No, not to myself.
Right. But when we look at your accomplishment and your anchor, there's all this evidence saying that you're able to do that, right?
Pam, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Pam. Do you, sorry, Samson, just.
Go for it.
All right, I just had a question popped up. Do you feel guilty for anything you've said to your daughter?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you feel most guilty about?
I think it's about the anger I had towards her when she lied to me. That's
okay. And what did you say?
That one of the things was she 4 years ago told me a series of fairly big lies. And so I told her that I wasn't going to be in her life anymore and that I wasn't going to go to her wedding.
Okay. And did she have her wedding?
Not yet, no.
Okay. And when is her wedding?
There's nothing planned as far as I know.
Okay. And you said you weren't going to her wedding to hurt her feelings?
No, I said it. No, definitely not to hurt her feelings. I said it because I hoped she would stop lying. I hoped I could get through to her.
And so what did she lie? What was the lie that sent you over the edge?
So she called me asking for money and told me this great big story about why she needed the money. And so I gave her the money. And then 2 weeks later, she told me something completely different about the money, which meant she actually didn't need the money. And so I lost it.
Okay. And why do you think she asked you for money?
I think she asked me I don't know. I've never got the answer to that. So that's a good question. I don't know why.
Okay, and how much money did she borrow?
It was a gift. I gave her 5,000.
Okay, and this was a gift that you gave unconditionally, or was there conditions on it?
No conditions on it whatsoever. When she called me in tears, I just said, I went and talked to my husband, which is her stepdad, and we said, we'd like to help you. So I gave it to her with no conditions at all.
Okay, and what makes you think she lied about needing the money?
Because she told me herself a different story.
Which was?
Which was that the money that she needed the $5,000 to pay off a car loan. Mm-hmm. But then she told me that the car loan had already been paid off by her boyfriend's mom.
Okay.
So it was two different stories.
Okay. And did you immediately go to anger, or were you able to talk about it?
Didn't talk to her about it because I just sent her an email telling her those things, and she hasn't spoken to me since. Okay.
So there was conflict. This is your daughter. You love her so much, you gave her $5,000. You haven't had a conversation with her. You sent an email. She hasn't responded, but it's kind of in a standstill.
Well, I think, Mike, one of the things I should tell you is my husband tried to reach out to Courtney and tell her how badly I felt and that we would like to go to counseling to try and deal with her lying, and she refused to go.
Okay, but what I would say is counseling's about your relationship to her. This is her stepdad, right?
Correct.
Okay, this is not Mama Bear.
Yes.
Right? This is not her mama, okay?
Yeah.
So your husband reaches out to your daughter, and that's not, I mean, look, like, if you're someone's daughter, you would be like, okay, why is my mom's husband reaching out? And
yes.
Right? And then my mom sends me an email that's over text. Like I was talking at the beginning of group with the chat, you know, how when people want to discuss things just over text, how stuff can get really altered. Suddenly someone brings that text to someone in their life and goes, look what my mom sent me, right?
Yes.
And it can become something totally different, right?
Correct.
But you love your daughter.
Absolutely.
Okay. And you want a relationship with your daughter.
Yes.
Okay. And so the approach of having your husband, what would be if you were operating as Pamela Fitzgerald kindness,
yes.
All right, with no hurt, I'm talking, what would be best for your relationship with your daughter? What would it look like?
So a couple of days ago, I sent her a message telling her how much I loved her, how much she meant to me, and how much I would love to have her in my life again, and that I'm there for her when she needs me, when the time's right for her.
You sent another message?
I did.
You didn't call her?
Because I'm too afraid, Mike, that she'll reject me.
Okay, so got it. So you want to have a relationship with your daughter. Putting stuff in writing is not the route, okay. Right? Like, okay. That's like, there's nothing like hearing someone else's voice or sitting down and having a cup of coffee. She lied to you. You have no idea why. No one's perfect. She messed up. She's probably embarrassed. She probably has guilt, whatever. Like, there's other stuff there, okay? She's not trying to hurt you. She's your daughter. So I really think, and this, I know we're out of time, so we can't quite get there exactly, but just to help you reframe, your doubt or your fear is being rejected.
Yes.
But if you were really acting in your kindness and getting out of your pain, you, I believe, would have a relationship with your daughter, or at least have some resolve. So I don't think you tell someone, hey, I want to get together to discuss your lying. Like, that's like not the answer, right? It's,
Right.
I want to get together to discuss my relationship with you because something happened and I love you.
Yes.
I want to discuss the relationship. This isn't, I would not suggest you go the route of, because you're putting her on defense right away, right?
Good point. Yes.
So my suggestion to you is pick up the 500-pound telephone.
Okay.
How far away does she live from you?
I live in Vancouver, Canada, and she lives in Toronto.
Okay.
So she lives quite
Okay,
quite
do you have
far.
other children?
I have a stepdaughter, yes.
But this is your only daughter of,
Yes, it's my
You.
only daughter. That's
Okay.
correct.
okay. So my suggestion is you start to have an action plan where you speak from the place of being the mom and the great daughter and being loving and get out of blame. Like at the end of the day, like whatever, she lied, okay? But I mean, I just think like she messed up, but like it's not worth losing a relationship over it. It's
Yes.
this is my suggestion to you. I mean, take it wherever you want. You're obviously in a lot of pain about it 4 years later, and I'm sure your daughter wants to have a relationship with you, and we don't know why she lied, and I'm sure it'll make a lot more sense to you once you reconnect with her.
Right.
Seems like you and Christine should connect and be like support for each other in this, and kind of maybe
I would
provide
love that.
some coaching for each other, because you're both entering back into relationships where you're both afraid of being rejected.
Yeah.
So
I would
maybe
love that.
switch up information on Facebook. We're out of time.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I'm
you for
sorry
listening.
but hopefully I'm getting you to think maybe a little bit differently about it. And
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I will.
right.
I will give that a try for sure.
Pam, and even if she doesn't respond to your call right away, or it says, do not take it as a failure. Like,
Yeah. That's the problem, right?
but it's not, because it's not. This is just part of it's a process, not a problem.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, Samson. This is your takeaway.
Hey, I loved it.
Okay.
I loved it. Yeah, just to tie it all up and bring it all together before we end. I know we're out of time, but the point of this anchor is to use it every day. I was telling Mike how I feel like a lot of people have this relationship with self-help or mental health or self-care, like the same relationship they have with Tylenol. When they have a headache, they'll take a Tylenol, right? I want you to use this anchor more like a multivitamin, something you do every day, especially though when you're feeling yourself in this place of doubt, like, oh, I can't do this, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not nice enough. Whatever that voice is for you, this is when I want you to say to yourself, whatever your anchor is, free, kind, in my case, bear, whatever, right? So that this is where the value of this comes in. I know typically at the end of these, Mike, you usually have the guests say their social media, but I don't use social media. So, but it would mean a lot to me if you followed Cast Centers on social media, because that's the Instagram that I check the most. So, and thanks again, Mike, for having me. I appreciate it.
And if everyone wants to connect on Facebook and share your anchor or share what you're proud of, go over to Facebook and share that with each other. Also, Pam and Christine, go meet up. If there's a private Facebook page, it's Coach Mike Bear. Anyone can join. But the two of you got to connect. That's your assignment. All right? I'll see you guys next week with Rosie, okay? Thank you, everyone.